Okay, this is the January 25th, 2022 meeting of the Executive Committee of the Troy Community Land Bank.
You're back, huh?
I'm not sure if Kate was going to make this. Oh, no, she was.
Well, let's wait. What time is it?
4:31.
4:31.
Okay. I can call roll call, right? We can get some of the other stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
Okay. Brian Barker.
Here.
Suzanne Spellin.
Here.
Albert.
Here.
Heather King is here. Tony Tazi, and we are
Here.
anticipating Kate Hedgeman. Yep. We'll call the meeting to order. What time is it, Tony?
4:32.
4:32. Okay. So do you want to go over the ARPA funding update?
Yeah, so last Monday I submitted the updated budget, and on Friday I received an email from City Comptroller Andy, and I don't want to botch up his last name, so I won't try to pronounce it. He said that he would be he'll review it, and that he would be giving me a call sometime this week to go over after he's taken a look at it. I did ask him about whether we would have a subrecipient agreement by February 2nd, which is when our board meeting is scheduled. And he said he didn't think that was probably going to happen, that he was still hammering out some of the language with the city's corporation council. So it sounds like it's just going to take the city longer than we would like them to get the subrecipient agreement in place. And I'm sure they're not doing it just for us. I think it's going to be an assembly line of subrecipient agreements for anyone who's been awarded funds by city council. I also asked him some questions about procurement, and I want to talk to him about it so that I'm crystal clear on what needs to happen. So that'll be part of the conversation I have with him when I do connect with him this week.
Kate's with us.
Hello again, Kate.
Kate, we just did the roll call, and Tony just gave us a quick ARPA funding update. Yeah, it looks like really Tony's just going to be giving us updates today.
Okay, I'm here.
Well, we do have to set the agenda for the next meeting too. So, so the Legacy City Access Program. Well, you guys all heard the update except for Suzanne at our A&D meeting an hour ago. But Suzanne, we have 9 properties that we are pretty sure will be the final composition of the bundle, so to speak. And I'd go over those properties with you, but it took me 5 minutes to find them the last time. So if you'd like, I can shoot you a list of what they are.
Yeah, sure.
We have an RFP issued to select probably 2 or 3 architectural offices to prepare the renovation floor plans and specifications, because that's what New York State Homes and Community Renewal will require. So we've got to get that ball moving forward. I also said at the last meeting, I'm a little apprehensive to move too quickly until we know the ARPA funds are in place, and until I know precisely how the procurement needs to work on that. So Teresa has been really taking the lead on this, and she's just been absolutely terrific, as anyone who's ever worked with her before can probably imagine. So she's chomping at the bit to get things to move forward, and every once in a while I have to explain to her why we can't go as fast as she'd like to, but her heart's definitely there and her head, so. So when the subrecipient agreement is ready, I will probably ask the board for a special meeting so that we can get that back to them as quickly as possible. I was really hoping we'd have it for February 2nd, but it is what it is.
Well, let's just keep it on the agenda still, and then if
Yeah.
it's not, we'll just, because it looks like what we have for the agenda now, it's the annual housekeeping resolution, authorize Bowers, the 2022, reappointment of the Hedgeman Law Firm, the ARPA subrecipient agreement, the Bonadeo audit 2021 engagement letter. We do have to talk about the ED, the scaled executive director compensation, and when that should be starting. Kate, there's do we need to authorize something extending the seat agreement? Or did she come right back or no?
Not yet, I don't think.
All right, so we have 2 other items, but I'll wait till she comes back. But what is this develop Troy Community Land Bank design standards? There's something that came out of the conversation with the marketing committee.
Suzanne, do you want me to jump in or do you want to?
d- Basically, I guess I can, it was my idea, so I guess I can run with it. Basically, the marketing committee, the 3 of us were not particularly happy with some of the choices that our contractors made in renovating the buildings that we've done. And, you know, we really feel that we should have a set of standards that they have to operate by. We want our buildings to look as upscale and good as they can. We understand that we can't use super duper materials or forms of doing things, but still within that, we should have some guidelines as to what we expect to see, both interior and exterior.
Sure. I'm just trying to think of the legal ramifications on that. Like, how much are we allowed to tell people what they can and cannot do?
Well, oh, go ahead.
We can, how can I say this? Homes and community renewal does have design standards. So, you know, without design standards, what we're going to get is you have to meet the minimum standards of the New York State Building Code, and that's what we'll get. If we develop our own set of, if we get our own set of design standards, pardon me, this person tried to call me 3 times, so then, you know, the quality of work will rise, and it will be, you know, more consistent across the board with whatever properties we sell. So there are definitely benefits to having design standards. You know, the big question is, do you want everything gilded and gold? You know, do you want it
Silver.
you want it good, better, best kind of arranged?
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking of things like, I don't know who did it, but that the original replacement door that somebody put on, I think it was the Fifth Avenue building.
Yeah.
And, you know, they put in they took out the original Victorian door, which wasn't in bad shape, and they put a transom
Oh,
and
that
put
was,
in a much lower Home Depot door with,
Yeah.
and it looked like crap, and we had to have them change it. So if we had some kind of standard, we could either save what's good or at least replace it with something that doesn't look like, you know, you paid $100 for it. I just think we can do a little better. I understand we can't, you know, we're not luxury builders, but that doesn't mean that we have to sell our homes with that are rehabbed with stuff that's just not going to last.
Another example that Jeanette has pointed out several times is that when people put on front porches or make repairs to front porches, they use pressure treated lumber. And that meets the New York State Building Code. It's not painted, doesn't have to be painted. But if we had design standards, we could say a front porch has to be painted. We could say it has to be painted white. We could say it has to be painted in 2 colors. But that would, that would address at least that one issue that I know has been bothering Jeanette for a long time. So, and the door issue as well. So the RFP we released to try to seek architectural services actually does include HCR's design standards.
Can I look at
So-
that? Can you
But-
send that over?
Yep, I actually, I just posted it today, so I haven't
Okay, hold
had a
on,
chance
I'll
to
go
look
out
at
for
it.
the,
It's on the working with us link. But I have it here, so.
it would certainly illustrate what our expectations are.
Yeah, and from my days in Malta, what developers would tell me over and over and over again, we don't care how high your standards are. We just want to know what they are.
What they are, yeah.
And developers do not like unknowns, and customers pay for the unknowns because they have to cover the potential cost of that. So design standards are good for that as well.
Well, I like the idea. I'd like Kate's feedback on it.
Did she say she
Are
had to
we,
walk
are
away?
any other land banks doing this?
I don't know.
I think Kingston is.
There's I think Kingston posted HCR's design standards. But they might have their own. So there's a New York Land Bank Association meeting on Thursday. And I can ask the question, hey, who out there has design standards?
Does Albany?
I don't know.
I'm reading it now. It's pretty general, actually.
Who, Albany's?
No, I'm reading the,
HCR's.
what's on our, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Where is it on our website?
It's on the
Yeah.
Working With Us page.
Ah, okay.
Page 17, 16 and 17. Oh, here we go. Page 18 is a little bit more. Well,
Yeah, I think that's a good start.
Yeah, so these, the way HCRs are shown here, they're not specifications. And these seem to be more aspirational than,
well, no, if you go down to page 18, it's got like it says what type of finishes. If you keep
okay,
going.
I see it.
Yeah, no, that's good. It's really good. I like it. And I guess it's just like, I think some of the frustration that we've had with some of the previous projects is because maybe these finishes may have all been there, but not pretty. Not, finished, a little sloppy.
You know, what I said to, during the marketing committee meeting was, you know, you can get deeper into the details. You know, when I used to do housing rehab for the city of Troy way back when, there was a book we always used and we always pulled the specs out of there. But it would say something like this is the example I use for marketing. You know, if you're installing new drywall, the surface of the drywall can't deviate more than 1/8 of an inch over a 10-foot span. So that doesn't mean you go into every single building and check that on every single, you know, piece of wallboard. But it does mean if you go in and you see that the workmanship is really, really sloppy, then you pull out the 10-foot straight edge. But that's getting into more details than what HCR has here. So again, it really depends on the level of detail you want to get into, and it also depends on the level of quality you want to get into. Best, good, best, better.
Mm.
So,
Well, I think it's something to definitely continue to discuss.
okay.
I don't know if Kate's gonna be able to hop back on, that she's on a call with the VIP. Let me just see. So what is the other? Let me see. Appointing Kate an officer.
Yeah,
I like
there
everything
was,
that you have on the, let me see here. And
you know-
authorize extending the seat agreement. I'm okay with appointing Kate as an officer, because then she can, as long as the rest of the board's okay with it.
that was something that she brought up a year or two ago, and I just added it to this because I think it was on last year's agenda.
Yeah.
And she actually wanted to rethink it, so.
Okay,
That's my
well,
recollection. That's my
we'll put it-
recollection.
all right, and then the seat agreement. All right,
Yeah. So the agreement is expired as of right now. I actually don't think we need board approval to authorize the Bowers engagement letter or the Bonadeo audit engagement letter. But I'd feel better if I asked Kate that question.
yeah, sorry. It's the crazy time here at the end of the day.
Does the seat agreement being expired, does that affect work on 791?
It does, yeah.
And what do we have to do to get that renewed?
Well, we just need to, let's see. Jennifer Lawrence sent us a revised agreement. So the rates went up a little bit. Off the top of my head, I don't recall how much. And there were no substantial changes to it that I can recall. But basically, it would be review the agreement, and if the board's comfortable with it, authorize me to sign it.
But you need board action to renew it?
Based on what I believe Kate guided me with, yes.
So should we call a special meeting for that? Or does that something that can wait till February 2nd?
I don't think we need a special meeting for it.
Is it holding them up from, like Brian said, from any significant work right now?
It's
No,
not.
I don't have any minutes.
I thought they were working on the inside of 791.
They are. They are.
So why didn't they give us a renewed agreement before their agreement expired?
Well, we actually have two agreements. So there's the master agreement, which is for support services primarily. And we have a separate agreement with them to serve as project coordinator for 791 River Street. That one is actually still in place, so it doesn't affect them working on 791.
And are they still working on 791?
Not entirely sure, Brian. I want to check so that I don't misspeak.
Why don't you just double check on that, Tony? Just make sure it's not holding that up. And then whatever you find out, then we'll make a decision from there on what we need to do.
I thought I saw somebody there the other day, but I haven't left my house in a couple of days, so I don't know.
Actually, they do. They have someone in there. I don't know why. Memory is a terrible thing to lose. So they have someone in there who's going through and repainting everything on the interior. That's probably who you saw, Suzanne. He was working at 54 Fifth Avenue, and he was the guy that did most of the work in there. So he's at 791 right now, putting a fresh coat of paint on everything.
And the heat's on.
Okay.
The heat is definitely on. Trust me,
That's
I've
good.
seen the NYMO bills.
Yeah.
I should say National Grid
Has-
bills.
Well, you
I
gotta have
see.
heat.
Has SEAT given you a schedule for when they expect to be out of there?
When they submitted their agreement, I'm pretty sure it came with a schedule. I have to check to say for sure, but
And are we paying TAP to go there periodically to inspect their work?
yeah, well, TAP is still definitely engaged to do inspections. The last time they were there was when Bolton Construction was doing the masonry. Bolton had some questions and they didn't want to proceed without guidance from TAP. I was at that meeting. SEAT was at that meeting. So, conversation went pretty perfunctory, and Bolton got the guidance they needed, and they did. I forget what the issue was, but they did what Beth suggested they do on one or two issues. I know
But
one of
is
the
it
issues.
reactive? Is it reactive, or do they make scheduled visits? Like, do they go
We-
there twice a month or once a month?
When City Restoration was doing the work, we met there on a weekly basis. So they're definitely not meeting there on a weekly basis.
But
Right now, I don't
what
know.
are we contracted with TAP to do? What is TAP's responsibility towards us by contract?
They are not serving as architect of record. They are serving as basically as inspectors on behalf of the land bank.
And my question is, are those inspections taking place at regular intervals or only when they get a phone call?
At this point, they're only when issues pop up. There's a difference in the volume of work that was going on with City Restoration. Not that it was going on the way we wanted it to, but right now there's a person inside painting. I'm not sure if we want Beth to come out to take a look at the paint every week.
Yeah, but who cracks the whip? That's what I want to know. I mean,
My
this
board-
project's
my-
been going
my
on
board
and on
does.
and on.
We want it finished.
Someone's got to be able to crack the whip and look at the schedule. Someone should be looking at that schedule every couple of weeks saying you're falling behind.
Yeah,
How
Let
long has
me,
this been going on?
7 years.
What?
No,
Oh,
far too long.
And it's basic stuff. This is not like asking people to bend over backwards. We're just asking them to finish what they've contracted to do on time. Or even if it's not on time, in a reasonable amount of time. Is there a delivery date for the other shapes of the masonry yet?
No, no, not at all. The fellow who I've been working with hasn't even called me back.
All right, Tony, if you can do me a favor, maybe just, um, let's put a little bit of a list together on what's left, just kind of a punch list on 791, kind of like timeline.
Yeah, and I thought TAP was doing that.
But maybe if
Seat,
Tony, if you
really.
can put that together for us, yeah,
Yep.
with Seat, work with Seat and put that together. And then we could just kind of see where we're at and then do a schedule and then maybe just make arrangements for when something's done, having TAP go out.
Are you paying TAP for the inspections?
Yes,
Yep,
they're not doing it for free. That's for sure.
So
just us, Albert. You want me to go out and do the inspection?
I think we've done plenty of inspections.
I do too.
do you
I'd
get a
actually
copy
love
of,
if Brian would
Just
do
need
it.
someone who does work.
Brian.
Do you get a
Well, someone
copy of the
who
Brian would
do
be
report?
work
great.
rather than inspections.
do you get a copy of the report?
Whenever Beth makes an inspection, she does a report, yes.
So when was the last report that you got?
Well, the last report would have been when she was there to address the issue that Bolton Construction had. There were a few relatively minor issues that popped up, and Bolton just wanted guidance so that whichever way he approached it, he knew that, you know, we would be okay with it. For instance, one of the things was the overhang outside the front door was not closed in. And he said, this has to be closed in before I can, you know, do the masonry. Do you want me to close it in? And George Brower was there and he said, you know, that's something that I can take care of. George did it within a day or two. And so that's an example of one of the issues. So, there was also an issue on alignment of the block. And I forget exactly what the specifics were of the issue, but it was pretty quickly remedied with the conversation with Beth and Bolton and myself and George. So it
Did
wasn't.
you guys
You've
talk
been-
about the,
You've been paying the contractors based on the inspection reports?
Well, yeah, that's whenever I issue payment on 791 River Street, I always check with Beth and basically ask the question, is there any reason I shouldn't pay this contractor? When City Restoration was doing it, they were using the AIA, AIA payment certification
Right, yeah.
template. So we use that process.
I just feel like seat needs to be held accountable to get the job done. They need to update their schedule. And we got to know when this is going to be reasonably finished. It's just been going on way too long.
Tell me
And
about
there's
it.
still open parts of it. It's just like somebody's got to be able to crack the whip with these folks.
Okay.
I mean, I would put 791 as like the schedule the schedule of 791 as an agenda item on every meeting, A&D and the board meeting.
I agree with Brian.
Yep.
Not an update on what's being done, but when will it be done? Are we on schedule? Are we falling behind? Are we waiting for materials that haven't been ordered yet? You know, it just gets ridiculous after a while. Seat was kind of, you know, the ones who were going to kind of save this project and get it moving again.
Well, Brian, maybe it's something that you and I can talk about offline.
That's fine. I just, have them come to a board meeting and tell us what's going on. No. We're paying them.
I
They're
think
working
that
for us.
makes sense. Okay. Brian, Tony, why don't you touch base with Brian tomorrow?
Yeah.
All right.
No, and I'm not upset about anybody here. I'm just, I'm expressing probably everybody's frustration about getting this project done.
You're not
it's
wrong,
just-
Brian. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's okay. Is there anything else, Tony, that I missed here?
No, Kate's in the meeting though, so if there's anything she would like to address.
I got one thing, the financials, can you get something by the end of the week on on last year? Can they give you like a year end?
Yeah, actually, Albert, my apologies, that came in. Oh, no, they
Oh,
didn't
did-
close. I don't have the year end. I have the month end stuff to get to you. They're working on the year end. They needed some information from me, some of which I got to them today. They may need some year end statements on the loans. When I sent the information to our accountants, I asked them, let me know if you need this. If you do, then I'll ask for it, because it's not something that they send to me.
So they gave you information for the month of December though?
Yeah, I do have that for you.
Okay.
Okay. Is there anything else, Mr. Tazi?
For me,
Anything from, all right, so you're gonna touch base with Brian tomorrow, gonna also touch base with Seat. I can't think of anything else that looks like a good agenda. We're gonna decide about the, we're gonna keep the ARPA on, and just in case, stay positive that it might be done by the 2nd.
we can still hope.
Okay. Is there anything else that you need from us?
Probably. Nothing I can think of.
Okay. All right. Oh, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
All right. Talk to you guys later. Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
have a good night.
Bye.